All right, guys, I'm excited to say we are almost through this thing. And this is where it starts getting a little bit more exciting, a little bit more, funner, if you will. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the ad content here, guys. What the ad is going to look like, how are we going to persuade our consumers to engage in this content, right? Then we're going to talk about, the ad name. What are we going to name the ad? Just internally so that we know how to discern between ads, right? Ad setup, creative, what that means, right? Creative just is the image or video you're going to use, or carousel, whatever it is, right? So the copy, meaning the text. What kind of text are we going to entice them with? Or, fear is a big one, or fear of loss, right? Missing out in an opportunity, right? CTAs. Okay, this is a big part in ensuring that the messaging is congruent between the call to action and the copy. Okay, so things like sign up, learn more, click now, okay, things like that. That's what a call to action is. The last thing we're going to talk about in ad content is form capture. And guys, I got a freaking gem for you if you stick around to the end of this video. And we're going to talk about how we can use our competitors as leverage. Okay, so let's jump right in. So the first thing we're going to do here is come up with an ad name, right? And very similar to the ad set portion that we just went over, I'm going to name my ad something that is similar to a variable I could test against, right? Like maybe I'm going to use in my copy the word low rates, or get quote now, or couple on a couch ad, right? So there's a million different ways this can account. I'm sure we've all heard that saying before. Just choose something that's going to allow you to discern easily between the different ads that you're going to run, especially if you're testing multiple variables. But for simplicity's sake, this wouldn't be easiest meta ads for final expense telesales if we didn't just go with something simple, right? Low rates, get quote now, or just follow your call to action. So the identity page should be the same. Advertise on Instagram, that should be unchecked because we are not going to advertise on Instagram. What I have found is most of the people that I contact, they typically barely have an email address, so it's a stretch to advertise on Instagram. It will just cost too much money per lead in my experience. It hasn't really spiked the needle per se. So ad setup, right? What is that? That's going to be a single image or video. You can also choose a carousel, which just means that it's going to scroll. Like basically, it's going to go from one picture to another within 1 to 3 seconds. Right, so I normally just keep it simple on a single image. If you want to do a video, you can. I mean, videos are really effective, especially if you want to do like a call-in campaign or something like that. Maybe you just want people, chatting in the background and just a picture of some folks, and you doing a voiceover of, if you want up to $35,000 in final expense life insurance coverage, apply today or call now. We're waiting for your call. Something like that, right? And you could run a video to that and maybe make the call to action a call now button, right? So when they click that button, especially if they're on their cell phone, it'll just ring right to the number of your business. But again, for simplicity's sake, we're just going to choose single image, right? So I'm just going to add an image. Maybe I'll throw an image in the resources section of this part of the course, and then maybe you guys can download it. I have no problem with that. So add creative. So this is going to be where we upload those images. You're just going to want to hit add or upload. So from here, I'd go to edit media, and then you're just going to throw your pictures into this. Okay. Now you might see a recommendations thing on the bottom left. Now that's just going to tell you to crop to Facebook's, recommended size. So for the feed, you're going to want a 1080 by 1080 picture. And for a stories and reels, you're going to want a 1080 by 1920 picture, I believe. And I'll show you guys how to even come up with these pictures, how to resize and all that stuff right now. So don't even worry about that. We're going to head over to canva.com. And once we get into canva.com, you can even search Facebook ad. Right, so just as an example, maybe we, let's go find an ad that might resemble something like a final expense deal. Maybe something like this, right? So if you wanted to change the size of the actual image here, you just go to resize, and right now I already have it set as a 1080 by 1080. So this would be your feed picture. You'd click share, click download, and then hit download. So right here it even confirms the size for you, 1080 by 1080. Hit download and this image will begin downloading. Perfect. So from here, if you want to get the 1080 by 1920, you just simply type 1920, copy and resize, and it turns it into the perfect size for a reel, right? Now again, you can keep these images, they're stock. Canva's a great resource for editing ads and stuff like that. And we can add our own, you know, pictures and words and things like that, and even brand it if you want to, and just, you know, constantly go back, resize it to whatever we need. All right, so canva.com is where you're going to go, and I don't really have an affiliate link for them. I mean, they're free and they're pretty cheap a month. This is like 12 bucks a month just to grab Canva, so you guys can play around with that, right? So the text, right? What does that look like? So this is a text that I ran back in January that did pretty well. I think my lead cost was like $6 or something like that, between $5 and $7. So, you know, finally, great news for seniors. Welcome the new year with peace of mind. You may be eligible for the new 2021 state regulated final expense plans with living benefits, right? So that's cash, that's your cash value in the policies, right? It's extremely important to find out how you qualify. Some other important facts about these policies, and normally I'll list some facts and features of the policies, or something that's going to give them the inclination to click learn more or something like that, right? So they last your entire life. There's no cost to apply. There's no face-to-face interviews, and you can't be denied. Why did I put that? Well, we have plans like AIG, right? We have plans like Great Western. We have plans like Gerber, right? Where there's even no health questions. So you can come in here, and maybe that's one of them, right? No health questions, right? And you can duplicate these and use the same picture and run both ads at once and see which one performs best. So that's the whole point of doing testing, right? Is to figure out what works best. Maybe you want less copy, maybe you want more copy. To see what you qualify for, click the learn more button below, right? So how do we get that button? This is the call to action portion. So we're going to click and find learn more. Maybe you want get quote, right? Here's an idea that I'm winging it, but maybe they want a free funeral planning guide. So you can have it as a download, and that gives you their opt-in with name and email. Maybe you put get offer for that, right? I'd probably choose download now, right? And then maybe just put in here the call to action. Download your free funeral planning guide below, right? So now you give them another call to action, and this is you're exchanging, right? So it's the law of reciprocation. You give them something in exchange, they're going to give you their name, email, and number, or maybe have them to subscribe on a list, right? So the next thing we're going to go over is creating the form that we're going to use to capture their information. So name this form something that you're going to remember, right? Or if there's something specific about it you'd like to remember. So just for simplicity's sake, again, we're going to put, you know, name, number, email, something like that, right? We're going to keep it under more volume because it's just going to be a little bit less expensive that way. So we're going to leave that checked. We've got our form named. Now we're going to look at the introduction. So we can use the image from our ad as the background, or we can upload a separate image, right? And the beautiful thing about Facebook is it does give us the recommended dimensions down here. And remember, in Canva, if you want to upload an image specifically for this section of your form, you can resize the image directly in Canva. But we're just going to use the image from our ad. The greeting should be short and simple, and if you play around with it, it'll, you know, populate in real time. All right, so thanks for choosing us, or something like that, right? We don't, you know, a description should be, okay, the description should be, you know, we don't use your information to sell, or something like that, right? So that's the greeting, and now we're just going to go down here to the questions. So as you can see, we have email and full name. So we're going to skip over questions and go to, or I'm sorry, we're going to go down here to pre-fill questions, and we're going to add the phone number. So now you can see we're requiring an email, full name, and phone number, okay? And the privacy policy. So this is super simple. We're not going to, you know, come up with a full page privacy policy. We're just going to link to Google's privacy policy. So Google privacy policy. Privacy and terms. I'm literally just going to come up here and grab the URL, copy it right here, and just type the word privacy policy. Super simple. Message for leads. You can leave this the same. Thanks, you're all set. You can visit our website or exit the form now. If you have the website, what I would do is call business and then just leave my, you know, just a cell phone number. I would leave my cell phone number so that they can give me a call in, right, if it's super necessary. So the text could be call now. Okay. So typically, you know, the best way to set up the buttons is going to be in all capital letters. So that's what I'd recommend, is just doing all capital letters for the call to any call to action, and leave it like that. Perfect. So your form field is done. Now the next portion of this video, I'm going to give you guys that tip that I promised you, and we're going to go over how to leverage our competitors' database and see what they're doing is working for them, just to kind of get an idea of how we want our advertisements to look. So be right back and we'll jump right into it. So head over to facebook.com, just go to your regular Facebook page, and let's go ahead and search for a competitor. I choose Globe Life because I got a feeling that they're running ads, but you guys can choose any other insurance company, or maybe even a friend, or maybe someone that you think is running ads on Facebook, right? So this is just a technique that's always been used in digital marketing, and it's one that's going to allow us all to grow, right? So I don't mind if people do this to my ads as well. Actually, I encourage it so that we all can start having a synergetic relationship when it comes to digital advertising. So what you're looking for on any insurance page is you're going to scroll down to page transparency. Okay, you're going to click on see all. And next thing I want you to do is take a look at this ads from this page. This page is currently running ads. So whenever you see that, you know that you can scroll down to the ads library, and it's going to give you their library of advertisements that are currently being ran. Okay, so try this with Aflac, try this with Geico, try this with different, maybe not even life insurance. Just see what other people are doing and what's kind of working for them, right? So just to show you guys how simple this is, and maybe give you guys a benchmark on, what you may or may not want to do with your advertisements. But as you can see here, they have just very simple little pictures, right? Typically elderly, couples and, family, mother, son, daughter, things like that. So, they're doing term, they're doing some children whole life, they're doing some regular whole life. And Globe isn't always the best option for my clients, is from what I can from what I can tell you in my years in the insurance industry. But they do a really good job marketing. I mean, everybody I talk to, they're pretty familiar with Globe Life, right? So let's click on see ad details. Just taking a look at it, right? No medical exam, just a simple application, buy direct right from your home, right? So adult and children, fast approval process. So they're casting a pretty broad net here with that claim, right? Looks like they might be charging adult and, you know, some children whole life policies as well. Taking a no medical exam approach. So they're offering this simplified issue policy. Buy it directly right from your home. So yep, it looks like they're going to get routed to a call center or something like that. Down here, we're looking at some descriptions. $1 buys $100,000. You know, okay, well, that's just a unit, right? That's just a unit for Globe Life, but that's, hey, that's what their deal is. You know, that's just part of their advertising. For adults or children, no waiting period. You can buy direct. You know, monthly rates as low as this, right? And then if you look down here, it says this ad has multiple versions, right? So one's just, you know, different targeting basically, right? So if you click learn more, this is their, you know, what they're doing is putting traffic to this ad so that it goes to a landing page. Now again, ours is much simpler than this. So our people are going to go to that form that we created. All right. So play around with that, guys. Maybe that's some homework for you tonight. Come up with 3 different ads, write down what their offer is, right? Write down this ad copy, write down what picture that they're using, okay? And then write down what their call to action is, okay? And then ask yourself, is that something that you'd click on? If the answer is no, you know, make something that you would click on, that you would personally feel confident with, okay? I will tell you this, man, it's really hard to fail when you have this kind of leverage, when you have this kind of knowledge. So hope you guys enjoyed that tip, and I'll see you in the next section, which should be automation.